Hey, good morning, everybody. Boy, we have a special treat today. Welcome to another edition of the Practice Grad to Success Show. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. Thank you, Len, Christi, Chris, everybody else that's going to be popping in here in just a minute. I have a wonderful guest today, and I'm really grateful for having this fellow on here. I've known him through his dad, and I'm sure most of you people probably know him as well. His famous dad. He's one who wrote the book, How Is That Working? And I'm talking about Robert Hollis. Now, today I've got his son, Robert Hollis Jr. on here. And now Robert Hollis Jr. he just lives up the road from me. You're up there in Newport Beach, is it, Robert?
Actually, I just moved to Arizona to be close to family.
Well, never mind. Never mind what I said. Strike that from the record book. But anyways, Robert Hollis's son, Robert Hollis Jr. is on here today, and he's a proud dad. He's got a young boy. He's going to have a baby daughter. Who's going to be born in April. So, anyways, Robert, welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you're here today. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bob, for having me on. I always love sharing and doing whatever I can to help people. And I've been following your videos of gratitude, and they're just so inspiring. I'm so glad you're doing that because so many people just don't understand how important that is. So it's an honor to be on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for following the videos. I thought it's only like 3 people or something doing it. So you must be the third one. No, hey Robert. So tell us a little bit about you, because I didn't know that you were in Arizona. I thought you were right up the road there. So tell us about who you are and just let us know who Robert Hollis Jr. is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, really in the very beginning, I actually dropped out of high school my freshman year to try to become a professional skater. So it already shows you guys how smart I am. And unfortunately, skating didn't pay the bills, and I hung around with some people that influenced me to do some illegal things to make money. And, I'm not proud of it, but it's a chapter of my life. And I actually ended up spending some time in jail. And before I knew it, all of a sudden I found myself, I was 22 years old. I had no work experience, no education, and a criminal background, and really what was my options? You know what I mean? And, if you're like me, I just knew that I was deserving of better. I got some jobs at like McDonald's or in the hot warehouses. And, I just felt like I deserved more. And fortunately, my father, it has been very successful. But I think everybody out there, if you really want to be successful, you got to find yourself a mentor. You got to find yourself a coach. So, I basically gave up everything that I knew. I put everything in a storage unit. Quit the only real job I actually had, and took a one-way plane ticket to Montana, Laurel, Montana. And for those of you that don't know where that is, it's got 2 stoplights in the whole city. So I go from Orange County, California to Laurel, Montana. Wow. And, I really struggled in the very beginning. I think my first year, I barely made enough to eat. My second year, I made about $10,000. And my third year, I made $196,000.
Nice.
Yeah. So, that was just absolutely amazing. And, one of my claims to fame is, I retired at the age of 30. I got a beautiful place in Newport Beach, right on the water, the expensive Mercedes, all those things that you thought were going to make you happy. And, it was awesome, but it wasn't as gratifying as I thought it was going to be. I really did miss helping people. I really did miss doing what I do. And, I wasn't grateful for what that I did have, and unfortunately, it was taken away from me. The company that I was working for made some really bad decisions. And, my checks just started going down like crazy. And, I had to downside everything. And my mindset was, hey, if I did it before, I can do it again. I'll just go back to work. And all of a sudden I moved from the beach all the way to the Inland Empire. If anybody knows California, it's like the polar opposite of where you want to live in California. and it was an industrial city right next to the corporate office. And I just said, listen, I'm going to go back to work and do what I know how to do. And all of a sudden I was doing meetings Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. And also on Saturdays doing a meeting followed up by a Super Saturday training. I was working harder than I ever have before. And my check's bottom line, my income was not going up. And, that's when I kind of made the decision to not only move to Arizona to be close to family, because now here I have a son, we're barely scraping by to pay bills. And the goal is to, we were traveling a lot that year, and we moved in with my parents-in-law to basically get through the holidays and save some money. And, then we'd find our own place. Well, then I started a company with my father, and all of a sudden overnight, here I was laughing with Bob before I got on here, is, if you can see the background, I had one just like that because I was working in a garage in Arizona. I mean, literally, like, I could lean over like this far and put my hand out and put my hand on the hood of a vehicle. I mean, it was crazy. So here I was, and it was another very humble experience in my life because, here I was, made over $1 million in commissions. I was retired at the beach, and, here I am living with my parents-in-law. It was like, oh my gosh, so humbling. And, after about 60 days of really hard work and focus, I went over making like $8 grand a month in residual income. So, all I can tell each and every one of you out there is that, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm really, really nothing special. I say it over and over again, is I'm just a below average person that tries to do above average things. And I think really the biggest difference between me and anybody watching this is I just found a mentor. I found a coach, somebody who's been there before me, somebody that could guide me and show me what to do, and not only teach me what to do and how to do it, but more importantly, how to change my thinking. And, because of all that, I've recently now started doing Periscopes every day. You guys can follow me at roberthollisjr.com. And I love giving back and helping people. And, it's kind of a stretch for me to do these. I just said I was going to start doing one every day at the new year. And man, the amount of people that reached out to me that said that I've helped them and the information that I gave them, it's just so gratifying to be able to give back. So that's kind of my story right now. As much as I'm in the training industry, I just started into a new network marketing company, which is amazing. I think I made about $12,000 my first 60 days. So it's just incredible. Once you really know what you're doing and you have a passion for what you're doing, that's also very, very important. It's amazing what kind of success that you can have.
Robert, that's an awesome story. I didn't know all those things about you. I mean, I just, people who know us well, he probably just came in under his dad, and things were easy for him, and everything just kind of fell into place. But that's totally the opposite of what it was for you. So that's awesome. What a great story. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's amazing.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Yeah.
That gives a lot of people hope, because people they sometimes dwell, and I think what's for you mentioned the way of thinking, because people they'll start focusing on the things they don't have or the things that they lost or whatever, and so they're not thinking on what can transpire. What was it that changed it for you? What gave you that going on sort of a thing for you?
Yeah, great question. I would bottom line have to say, bar none, the one thing that really helped me change my mindset the most, actually I'll say two things. One would be the book, Science of Getting Rich. It is by Dr. Wallace D. Wattles. I mean, that book is absolutely incredible. It's actually the book that inspired the movie The Secret. If anybody's ever heard of that. If anybody wants that book, please reach out to me on Facebook. You can find me on my fan page. Like I said, roberthollisjr.com, and send me a private message, and I'll send you the ebook and audio to that book for free. It was written over 100 years ago, so the copyright laws aren't there anymore. So I would love to share that book with you. And, it just really, really gets you to change your thinking. Going back to gratitude, I think where people really lose it is, when it's most important to be grateful, believe it or not, is when the chips are down. And, I talk to people all the time, and they go, well, you just don't know how bad I have it. I mean, my gosh, I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. I hate my job. I'm behind on my bills, and they start listing off all the things they're not grateful for. And if you're always in that mindset, you're always going to attract those things. And, the gentleman that just said that to me recently, I was like, wow. I go, so are you lonely? And he said, what do you mean lonely? I go, do you have anybody in your family? And he immediately smiled. I could see him. He goes, oh no, believe it or not, my daughter just had a new baby boy son. and, you know, he's healthy, and, you know, he started listing off all these things. And I go, wow, you do have a reason to be grateful. I mean, you're alive. You can see your grandchildren. Your grandson is alive and healthy and happy. Do you know how many people don't have that privilege that can say that? And he goes, well, I never thought about that. And I go, and you're healthy. And I said, now you get to see your grandson grow up. I go, I know you keep pointing out all the things you're not grateful for, but do you realize you're on a computer right now, and we are doing a live conference call, chatting back and forth through the internet? Could you be grateful for having technology to be able to learn these things? You know, and I just started listing off all these things, and he was going, I didn't think of it that way. And, you know, I can tell you guys one thing, because when the chips are stacked against you, that's one of the most important times to be grateful, because, you know, I'm not here to touch on anybody's spiritual beliefs, but really everything that I've read, everything that I've learned, it doesn't matter if you believe in God, it doesn't matter if you believe in karma, law of attraction. If you're not grateful for what you have right now, how do you expect to be blessed with more? You know, we're in this day and age, and, you know, I really see this, you know, in all walks of life. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, whatever your belief is, but we're so self-centered. You know, it's like, I want, I need. And nobody's really taken a step back to go, wow, I'm so grateful and happy that I'm alive today. I'm so grateful and happy that, you know, I'm healthy. Wow, could you be grateful to even have the ambition to want more? You know, gosh, it kills me inside to see how many people out there are not even living. They're just existing. You know, I talk to people every day that it's like, well, you know, I hate my job, but at least I got one. And I'm in debt up to my eyeballs, but so's everybody else. And, you know, it's just the way life is. Life sucks, and then you die. I mean, you know, I'd rather be frustrated and, you know, wanting more than just giving up on life. So, you know, if you're on this, you know, watching this live or recorded, give yourself a pat on the back, because you do want more. You know, some people that, you know, just giving up, they'd rather just watch, you know, keeping up with the Kardashians and get drunk on the weekends than, you know, jump on a webinar to possibly improve themselves. So really, you know, that book was one of the big game changers for me, because I realized after reading that book that, you know, everything could change if you want it to. It's very simply just a choice. Thoughts are things, you know. Another amazing book out there is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You know, and in that book it says, listen, you know, a man that thinks as he's a king attracts kingly things. You know, it's, you know, thoughts are reality. If you walk around every day thinking that you're a champion, thinking that you're a winner, that you are going to have success in life, and you're grateful for what you have, it's virtually almost impossible for you not to attract those things. So, you know, the only thing that I want to add on to stuff like that is I look at it just like faith, or just like anything else, is, you know, thinking about those things and wishing about those things only go so far. But you got to get off your butt and go to work, bottom line. So yeah. So I know, long answer to your question, but one of the biggest things that changed for me was that book. And I think the other thing that really changed for me too was getting out of my current situation and being around other people that had that like-minded. You know, I can't stress upon you guys enough, is you become who you hang around. You know, if you hang around a bunch of negative, broke people, best believe you're going to be number 5th. You know, so just like I said in my story, you know, I'm not putting the blame on anybody. Everybody has choice. Everybody knows right from wrong. But I hung around a bunch of people that, you know, selling marijuana and doing things like that was okay. So I thought it was okay. And I ended up going to jail for that. And, you know, when you hang around a bunch of people that accept where they're at in life, where, you know, hey, every life sucks and then you die, and nobody succeeds in those businesses, and hey, if you're around all those people, then you just accept it. But the second I started hanging around other people that said enough was enough, and they didn't settle for what they had, and they knew that they deserved more, and seeing how they acted and seeing how they, you know, thought on a day-to-day basis really rubbed off on me. So, you know, if you don't like your current situation, one of the best things that you can do is get new friends, man. I always put it this way, and I'll leave it at this, is that, you know, if me and Bob were in a room together, and, you know, I know he's a pretty decent sized man, is if I ran over to him right now and grabbed him by the shoulders or grabbed him by the neck, I could probably pull him off that chair if I really wanted to. But if he said, listen, I got vaulted ceilings and I need to change that light bulb, can you lift me up so I can change that light bulb? That's a lot harder work. I might even need some people to help me to grab one on both of each leg. So, you know, it's easy to pull somebody down, but when you surround yourself with people in life that lift you up, that feed you positivity, it's amazing what you can accomplish in life. So, you know, get around those people. I can tell you one thing, that misery loves company, guys. Misery loves company. You know, there's so many people that are just rooting for you to fail and they don't want you to succeed. And even when you do succeed, they're going to say, oh, you changed. You know, you got to cut that. I look at negative people like cancer. You got to cut them out of your life. I don't mean to be harsh when I say that, but it's true.
I would say the same thing for something like watching the news. Not that you don't want to be informed, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't had cable television, Bob, for 5 years.
There you go.
Yeah, I look at CNN, constant negative news, you know. I actually joke around with my sister-in-law because we were actually at a birthday party recently, and she got mad at me, but I was being honest. I said, so what's the news? What should I be afraid about? You know, and there's like the whole family sitting around. She goes, what are you talking about? And I go, well, you know, a few months ago it was Ebola. And then after that, it was the shooter that was going around. And then after that, it was this you know, what was it? I don't know. There's always something that's chaotic and it's going to kill us. And oh my gosh. And I say, I just want to, if I'm, you know, need to worry and stress, I just got to talk to you because you'll let me know in the news what I got to be scared about. And she goes, Robert, that's not funny. And I go, it is, because none of those things you tried to scare me with ever happened. Said, listen, I like to, I'm the one of those people that if Armageddon hit America, I wouldn't know until I hear sirens and people running around in the streets, because I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to the news. You know, if I need to be informed, I go on the internet on specific websites that I know are just going to inform me on positive stuff or drastic major changes. I don't need to hear about, you know, who got shot or who got arrested and what new disease is forming because of all the chemicals in the world. I just don't need to know that stuff. Call me ignorant, but I'd rather be ignorant on bliss than scared out of my mind all day and not going to work because, hey, the world's going to end anyway, so why go to work and build an empire, you know? It's just crazy. Sorry to go off on a tangent there, Bob.
No, I love that because it's a mind shift of what you're going to look at, right? I mean, it's like, where are you going to put your focus? Are you going to put your focus on can, or are you going to put your focus on the reason why you can't? And one of the things, what I really like what you said a little earlier, Robert, you said, be grateful for the ambition of being grateful. You don't even have the gratitude. You don't even have the reason to be grateful yet, but you're grateful for the ambition to be grateful. And that was huge. I actually really never even heard anybody say that before. I think I'll make a meme and I'll quote that today.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's a really good one. Just you're grateful for the possibility that you can be grateful, because things can happen. It's just a matter of just shift, right? I mean, just change your mindset. Hang around with people like that. Like we just left the call. I was at a call. Some of the people on the sideline were on the call as well. It was talking about this. The fellow talked about a Navy SEAL, about how only 10% of Navy SEALs actually make it all the way through. They have a bell that at any time during their whole training that they go through this real long training, all they got to do is ring that bell and they're out. No questions asked. It's like, oh, it's okay to quit because, you know, 90% of people quit anyways. And these are tough people. These are really tough people to get there. And the stuff that they have to go through to get to that point, and they want it. And this fellow talked about, this person thought about quitting a lot of times. But there's always, when you hang around with other people who are going to lift you up and change that light bulb, when you hang with people like that, not ones that are trying to knock you off the chair like Robert Hollis Jr. No, but you know what I mean? But when you hang with those kind of people who are going to encourage you all the time, that's what makes all the difference, doesn't it, Robert?
Yep, absolutely. It's all, you know, and sometimes I say this to people and they want to fight it, but I say, you know, if you want to figure out how much you're going to be making in 5 years from now, or what your lifestyle is going to be like in 5 years from now, take the 5 top people you hang out with the most and average their lifestyle, average their income. And when I first say that to people, a lot of people want to fight it. They're going, well, come on, that's, if it's up to be, it's up to me. I'm the controller of our destiny of my own life. And I go, really? I want you to think about this it's true in everything in life. Say if you wanted to be a professional basketball player and you went down to the local gym and you played basketball every day and just schooled everybody there. What does that mean? You're above average. You're better than all the average people at the gym. Great, I'm happy for you. Well, now I want you to go down to the local NBA, whether it's the Lakers or the Clippers, I'm from California, wherever your state is, and go play with those guys.
Right.
See, they're going to make you look like you don't know how to play basketball. They're going to, push you. They're going to, make you feel uncomfortable. And I guarantee it's going to raise your level of standards. See, this doesn't matter if you want to be an auto mechanic or a hairstylist or a chef. You hang around the best of the best people, they're going to elevate you to be better. If you hang around a bunch of average people and you're just better than them, there's a great statement out there is that, if you're better than all your friends, you need to find some new friends.
Exactly. So tell us, Robert, about you. Now you've got tell us about your family. Tell us about your little boy and little girl is going to be coming along. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, I can tell each and every one of you that, if being an entrepreneur, whatever business you're trying to succeed in right now, I used to always say, well, I'm making $3,000 a week or $5,000 a week, and I got the beach home and I got the Mercedes, and that was always like my success story. And now it's, I get to spend all day, every day with my family. You guys haven't heard him yet, but he's running around. Ryder knows that I'm in here. He can come in anytime. And, guess what? I was there the first time he smiled. I was there the first time he rolled over, the first time he crawled, the first time he walked. I mean, I don't care how successful you are, money can't buy those things. And, so not only is my son now, he's 1.5 years old, but we got a baby girl on the way. Her name's going to be Olive. She'll be here in April. And, just so excited. That's one of my hugest and favorite compliments in life because, now also, I really get to mold them, with the right attitude. We're already planning on not putting them through public school and, really teaching them core values at a very, very young age. Les Brown said it, and this really impacted me. And I always remembered it because, Amy was pregnant with Ryder at the time, is that, a mind of a person, usually your blueprint for the way you think, you believe, you act, is set into your head from ages 0 to 5. And it's actually been documented that for every time somebody tells you that you can't do something, somebody else has to come along and tell you that you can 7 times before it erases that one can't.
Wow, that's huge.
Yep, it was a study at MIT. It's actual factual stuff. So, me with my son, if people see the way I act around him, every night and every morning, we have our ritual. We make coffee together in the morning with Daddy when he wakes up. And, every night before he goes to bed, I say, I'm proud of you. I love you. You're a champion. You're a winner. You're so handsome. You're so strong. You're so smart. You're so caring. You're so loving. You're destined for greatness, Ryder. You're gonna do amazing things because you can do anything good. Daddy's so proud of you. You could do anything good. And I start doing that with them. Go to the mirror and I say it, Ryder. I can do anything good. I can do anything good. So I'm now trying to tell him 7 times, multiple times a day, that he can do anything because I don't want anybody to come along and tell my son he can't do anything. So, and I think it's just important, especially in this day and age, man, is not to go off on a tangent, but, we're just bred in America to be sheeple. Don't think for yourself, just follow the system and go through it. And we're now realizing that, maybe my father's, generation or your generation, Bob, that might have been true. You know, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, and you have a job waiting for you when you graduate. It's not true anymore for my generation, and it sure probably is not going to be true for my son. So I want to make sure that he knows from a very young age that if he wants anything in life, whatever he wants to accomplish, he's got to make it for himself. So, you know, I plan on homeschooling both of my children and never getting them around anybody that can tell them they can't do anything.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have that attitude hanging around with you. No, that is so important, though, Robert. That is just so important. But I didn't realize it was like 7. I knew the negatives were more powerful because we dwell in them. You know, we could. What if like if you read comments, just say if you write a post on Facebook and you got like all these people say nice things, whatever, and then the one person comes along and calls you an a-hole or whatever. Which one do you think about? You think about that one person, don't you? It's that one person that you think about, and it's like they might have been outnumbered 12-1 or 100-1 even, but you think about that one little negative thing, and it's so important. That's why it's so important to express gratitude.
Yep.
Just say it all. That's why I do that. We
awesome.
You know.
Now, one tip and this is just what I do personally, but the way that I deal with negative people, and I think it's fun for me, is I kill them with kindness.
Okay.
Because when you kill somebody with kindness, not only especially on Facebook, people can publicly see it, but when really negative, mean people get compliments, it just makes them madder. So like when I'm on the freeway and somebody gets mad because I cut them off or whatever happens and they're next to me yelling, telling me I'm number one, I look over at them and I say, I'm sorry, have a wonderful day. I'm sorry, and you can see them, they get so mad, you know, or, you know, just recently happened to me the other day, some guy went on there and I don't even know, I think he was just being mean, you know, and immediately blasted me, and everybody else defended me and started putting, you know, negative comments on there. So I deleted everybody else's comments but his, and I responded and I said, listen, Bob, I am so sorry at whatever I did to offend you or upset you. I'm just a human and I try my best every day and I'll try harder to help please you. Please forgive me. So I'm asking him to please forgive me for him slandering me on Facebook. So yeah, because that just, you know, people just don't know how to come back to that. What is he just going to call me more mean names after I just said sorry and please forgive me for him calling me mean names? And that usually is the quickest way to diffuse any negativity. They just don't even want to deal with it because they don't know what to do. They're expecting you to come back with a bunch of negativity so they can come back. And you know, I love the quote, don't ever lower yourself to somebody's standards who's negative or ignorant, because they're going to win. They're used to playing there. So it doesn't matter whatever you say to try to come back to somebody negative on Facebook. Don't even lower yourself because they will win, you know. Try to raise them up to being positive and they can't compete there.
No, you're playing their game in their court right there when you're doing something like that.
Yep.
But I think you're taking this to a whole new level. I think you're taking the niceness, and that's, I mean, it's wonderful. I you know, I thought we would come on, we would just chit chat and talk about strategies or whatever. But it's so cool to talk to people like you that tell you the whole human, the feeling, the heart, and that's what it's all about. It's about the heart connection that we have with other people, and I'm so grateful, Robert, for you for sharing all of that with me today, with all of us today. That is so awesome. So, Robert, how can people get a hold of you then if they want to find you? What's the best way for people to connect with you?
Yeah, you can find my fan page. It's roberthollisjr.com. I hopefully will have that attached to my blog very, very soon. I thought I was going to have it launched sooner, but there's so much that goes into it. And you guys can send me a private message there. The reason why I say on my blog or my fan page on Facebook is I am so close to 5,000 friends that I don't try to add anybody, because if I go over 5,000, then of course nobody can reach out to me. So I always like to save room in there for new people that I'm working with, or for people that have a chance to reach out to me. So if you send me a message on my fan page, like me on my fan page, send me a message, and then I'll know who you are and I can add you on my personal page. So from there, I can also send you the book, Science of Getting Rich by Dr. Wallace D. Wattles, like I shared with you guys. And you can see everything that I do there. I do videos like this every day, whether it's on motivational stuff or what to do and how to do stuff on your business. I just love giving back. So that's by far the best way to get a hold of me. Just go to roberthollisjr.com.
Okay, wonderful. And Robert, so now before because we have to leave here, we're almost finished. What would, if you had to give like one tip to somebody starting out that was struggling, that wasn't really seeing results yet, and no matter what, whether they're in like affiliate marketing or like a network marketing company or whatever, what would be the one or even a couple of tips? What would you tell that person?
You know, and I just recently talked to somebody about this the other day, is you really, you know, like reading the book Science of Getting Rich and the movie The Secret, and all those things, is you really have to get a clear defined why. You gotta have a mission plan of what and why are you doing this. You know, I did this training recently. Let's see if I can find the piece of paper here. It's funny, I got it written down. And I'll do this really quickly, but this will show really where your head's
Go a little bit longer. Don't worry about the time. We can go a little bit longer if we have.
Okay, yeah. What most people always worry about is the what to do and how to do it.
Right.
That's all they focus on. So if you see these circles, I know it's backwards here. You got 3 circles. In the first circle, most people work from the outside in. So the first circle is, what do I got to do? And I knew this from our last company, where I was helping a lot of people with our company finding leads. So I would say, well, listen, this is exactly what you do. This is what you say. This is how you find people. This is how you pique their interest. This is how you present the business. And we laid out everything to a T, exactly word for word, blueprint, what to do. And then after we did that, then people would come to me and go, well, how do I do it? Okay. So then I started doing live lead calls. I got over 60 hours of me calling people live, unscripted, to show people how to do it. So, okay, now you've got everything you need to know what to do. You've got everything you need to know how to do it. Guess how many people started having success after that? Not much more. Because people don't realize that the last step is your why. You gotta understand why you're doing this. When your why is big enough, the what and the how will come. You know, and these things can come from writing down your perfect day, putting up your dream board, and really getting a passion and vision of where you want to go in life. And I want to use you as Bob as really quickly as an example, real quick, so I can show people when you know that you got your why. Okay, so Bob, let's say tonight, you know, the sun just went down, it's after dinner, and you realize that you're out of toilet paper. So that's just something that you can't wait for in the morning, right? So you go down to whatever, the local liquor store, Target, Walmart, wherever it is, and it's late. There's not that many people in the parking lot. They're about to close. You go in, and when you come out, all of a sudden somebody jumps from the other side of your car. And this guy is like 6'5". He's got tattoos all over his neck and his arms. He's got a face mask on, and he's actually holding a bat. Are you interested in fighting this guy?
No.
Okay. What would be the percentage that you think you could actually win if you did decide to fight this guy?
I would think my percentage was high because I just wouldn't allow him to beat me.
But really, realistically, this guy wants to, you know, steal your car. He's ready to beat you down. What do you really think the chances are that you could beat this guy? The guy's 6 foot plus, massively yoked out, got a bat, tattoos all over his face. You know, he's psycho. What are the percentages?
Well, for most people would be low, but I wouldn't allow him to take me down.
Okay, so awesome. So far you're confident, but you don't want to fight him, right?
No, I would rather not. I would rather go get the toilet paper and go home.
Yeah, right. So now it's like fight or flight, whether it's like, hey, here's my wallet, here's my keys, I'll call the cops, they're probably going to catch him anyways. Or maybe you can run back into Target and get safety and call the cops, right?
Yeah, in that situation, I would run. I wouldn't stand there and try to fight the guy. I would run if I had a chance. Personally, I would try to get away. So
now the same story. And do you have any grandchildren or anything like that?
Yep, I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's say that this time you went to Target and you were watching your grandkids for the weekend, so you had to take them with. And when you got up to the car, this time the same guy, the same psycho guy with a bat, jumped out from the other side of the car and grabbed one of your grandchildren's by the back of the neck. Now what are you going to do?
Well, I'm still going to run away. No, I'm just kidding you. No, of course, you would destroy the fella. So whatever you would do, whatever you had to do.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do to take them out? Do you know mixed martial arts or anything?
No, I just grew up in a really tough neighborhood.
Got it. So how are you going to do it? See, now you're not thinking about what you got to do or how you're going to do it. You're just going to do it. I don't care if I got to pick up, broken glass and stab this guy. I don't care if I got to jump in my car and run him over. This guy is going to freaking go down. And I love using this story, especially with females, because, most women are going, I got a 0% chance. I can't take this guy out. Well, what if you grabbed a hold of your son? He's going down. It's like you just admitted to everybody on this live webinar that there is a 0% chance that you're going to win this fight, except now you're all of a sudden miraculously going to take him out. Well, he's got a hold of my son.
Right.
Now you've got a why. Now you're passionate. Now you believe in what you're doing, and you're not freaking going to let nobody stop you. That's my biggest advice to everybody. I wish I could turn my monitor around, but I've got a huge dream board up. I've got a picture of my son. I got a picture of my wife. I've got things that I want to do in my life, and I'm not going to stop until I get there. I want to homeschool my son. I want to travel with my son. I want to do the things with him that most people could dream of, and nobody is ever going to tell me I can't do that. I don't care how many people tell me I'm stupid. I don't care how many people tell me no. I don't care how much sacrifice and sleep that I miss and time with my family and times that I love doing things that I got to sacrifice, because I am going to take care of my family, and we're going to do the things that we want to do in life.
That's amazing.
I've got a why. I don't care about the what and the how. And that's where I strongly suggest you guys starting. Write down on a piece of paper your perfect day, write down your dreams, write down your goals, and believe that you can achieve them. Hang them up, pictures of your goals and your whys in your office, in your bedroom, and in your office. Everywhere you look, you should be surrounded by these things. And they, the statement is, if your why doesn't make you cry. I mean, maybe it's not the material things, but I did this with a young kid, and I was super surprised. He was only 18. And, as I was talking with him, you could see his mom. It was late. His mom was leaving for work. And I said, what does your mom do? And he goes, she's a nurse at night. And during the day, she's a waitress. And I go, wow, your mom has 2 jobs? And he goes, yeah. And I go, so I don't know what your why is, but what if you could retire your mom? And he goes, well, that would be awesome. And I said, so what would that feel like? You finally got a big check from the company we're working with. Everything's going awesome. All of a sudden you walk up to your mom and look her in the eyes and say, Mom, you no longer have to go to work anymore. I bought the house is paid for, your car's paid off, and I make enough money where you don't have to worry about bills. And the kid just started crying. And I go, that's your why. You think about your mom every day, you'll make it happen.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so great. I love both of those stories that you told there, Robert, about just digging into your inner soul, your heart, your passion. That's what it's all about. It's not about what or how. It's digging in, and that's. Thank you so much for sharing that today. That was huge. That was huge.
Thank you. Yeah, and I really believe it, guys. You just got to get passionate.
Right. Absolutely. I know you could tell that you believe, and you certainly have a big why, with a couple of big whys, with that lovely family of yours. So Robert, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all of those things today. So the best way then people to just go to your Facebook, go to Robert Hollis, go to Facebook, Robert Hollis.
Okay. Yeah, just type in roberthollisjr.com and it'll redirect you to my Facebook page.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, Robert. Thank you again for coming in. I honor you. I'm grateful for you. And so I can't believe this has been such a wonderful call. Thank you for sharing all of those things.
No problem, Bob. Thank you so much for having me on. And I always say is, if all I did was touch one person today to make a difference in their life, my time was worth it. I love giving back and inspiring others. So Bob, thank you for the opportunity to do this.
Thank you so much, Robert. And tomorrow, I want to let everybody know. Tomorrow, I have a friend of mine, been a friend for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. Edie Galley is going to be coming on tomorrow, and then a person who's here on right now in the side chat, Judy Martini, is going to be coming on. And both of these people talk about being people that come from their heart, come from gratitude. They're going to share a lot of those really cool things like that show us how to really dig deep and how to come from the unconditional love. So make sure you tune in tomorrow and the next day for those shows. right, so everybody, well, thank you so much for coming. And Robert, again, thank you once more. So I will talk to you later.
Awesome. God bless everybody. Talk to you soon.
All right, God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.